Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha television. You're watching the Breakfast News with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the latest headlines. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrives in India, will hold talks with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi before signing several bilateral agreements today. Child rights activist Kailash Satyarthi receives Nobel Peace Prize along with Pakistan's Malala Yousafzai starts celebrations from Vidisha to Swat Valley. Cabinet gives nod to amendments in Lokpal and Lokayukta's Act, paves the way for Congress's Mallikarjun Kharge's inclusion in the Lokpal selection panel. CIA faces widespread criticism over alleged human rights violation after Senate report. UN calls for strict action against CIA officers. And Hong Kong braces for fresh protests today as police will begin clearing the protest site 2 months after pro-democracy protests began. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Delhi on Wednesday night to attend the 15th annual India-Russia summit. Putin will hold summit-level talks with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Hyderabad House today. It will be the first annual summit meeting between Putin and Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed confidence that the visit will take the bilateral relations to newer heights. Tweeting in Russian, Modi said that he is looking forward to a productive meeting with Putin. Ahead of the visit, Putin offered to do business in rupees and ruble to boost trade ties. The two countries are expected to lay out a 10-year roadmap when the two leaders meet. The two leaders are expected to sign several agreements besides finding ways of increasing business engagement.
A summit meeting will be held between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday. The top priority will be boosting trade ties between the two countries. Putin's offer of doing business in rupees and rubles is a step in this direction. The two countries are expected to lay out a 10-year roadmap when the two leaders meet.
A dominant theme of this summit will be the spelling out by the two leaders of a joint vision of our relationship for the next decade. It will provide a roadmap for enhancing the partnership between our countries to qualitatively new levels. It will have a strong focus on redefining the economic partnership.
Prime Minister Modi and President Putin will also hold a joint meeting with business leaders of both countries. Besides oil and gas, there will be talks regarding nuclear energy as well. While Russia wants India to invest in its oil and gas fields, India wants more nuclear power units.
India has an opportunity to cash in on this opening and sign a deal possibly for gas exports at a very favorable price. We can circumvent that by using processed oil.
The private sector is expecting a lot of business from Russia. There will also be talks surrounding smart cities, defense equipment and fighter jets.
Which has its own national interests. One of them is having traditionally friendly relations with the Russian Federation, which is, I think, is a great partner for India. We are the only pair in the world of the great powers which never had even a quarrel with each other.
India has reduced defense equipment imports from Russia in recent times, affecting the latter's economy. Trade between India and Russia stands at a mere $10 billion. Russia will also soon open up its agriculture sector to the world, throwing open new opportunities to Indian farmers. This will help small industries. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, they came from countries that have fought wars with each other and are still at loggerheads more often than not. But the Nobel Committee in Norway brought together India and Pakistan in a way that decimates all the hatred manufactured or otherwise. Pakistan's Malala Yousafzai and India's Kailash Satyarthi received their joint Nobel Peace Prize in a glittering ceremony in Oslo.
One, the youngest ever Nobel laureate, and other, a somewhat older man. One from Pakistan and one from India. One Muslim, the other Hindu. Honoring Pakistan's Malala Yousafzai and India's Kailash Satyarthi, Chairman of the Nobel Committee said the two represent symbols of what the world needs: more unity. sharing the award for their work on promoting child rights in the troubled subcontinent, where millions are deprived of education and even their childhood. Satyarthi said the prize was a great opportunity to further his work against child slavery.
There is one serious disconnect, and that is the lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform the individual's compassion into global compassion. Let us globalize compassion.
17-year-old Malala, who survived a near-fatal Taliban attack 2 years ago, is determined to advocate education for girls.
Many children, especially in India and Pakistan, are deprived of their right to education because of social taboos, or they have been forced into child marriage or into child labor.
The first place this funding will go to is where my heart is, to build schools in Pakistan, especially in my home of Swat and Shangla.
The two received the Nobel Medal, which is 18-carat green gold-plated with 24-carat gold and weighs around 175 grams. They will share prize money worth $1.1 million. The ceremony saw performances by Pakistani singer Rahat Fateh Ali Khan and Sarod maestro Amjad Ali Khan and his sons Aman and Ayan. They spread the message of peace, harmony and non-violence with the Raga for Peace conceived specially for the occasion.
I hope the steps that Kailash Satyarthi and I have taken so far and will take on this journey will also bring change, lasting change.
Well, celebrations started in Vidisha soon after child activist Kailash Satyarthi became only the second from India to win the Nobel Prize for Peace. People danced and cheered along the streets of Vidisha, lit with numerous lamps as the laureate gave his speech in Oslo. Satyarthi's NGO Bachpan Bachao Andolan has been credited with freeing more than 80,000 child labourers in India over 30 years. Similar celebrations were seen in Pakistan after Malala won the first Nobel for her country. Residents of Malala's hometown Mingora in the Swat Valley cheered as they watched her accept the Peace Prize on a giant projector screen in a school hall. Well, joining me for a chat this morning on this very subject is Rakesh Sengar, activist Bachpan Bachao Andolan. Very good morning, Rakesh, and thank you for joining us on the program. You know, the speech of Malala and Kailash Satyarthi was very well received in Oslo. It was very well received across the world as well. Clearly, a message in it for global compassion and global peace, and also ensuring that children are educated across the world.
निश्चित रूप से जो उन्होंने बात कही है ये एक बहुत हिस्टोरिकल बात है कि बच्चों के बिना शांति नहीं हो सकती और बच्चों के लिए करुणा बहुत ज़रूरी है, कंपैशन बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो ये मैसेज पूरी दुनिया में गया और ये मैसेज बहुत लंबा जाएगा क्योंकि दोनों ही एक ऐसे लोग हैं जो अभी संघर्ष कर रहे हैं। बाल मजदूरी और बच्चों के अधिकारों के लिए कैलाश सत्यार्थी संघर्ष कर रहे हैं, मलाला लड़कियों की शिक्षा के लिए संघर्ष कर रही है। तो संघर्ष के लिए ज़रूरी है कि लोगों के में चाहे वो भारत के लोग हों या पाकिस्तान के लोग हों, उनके मन में करुणा का भाव ज़रूरी है और करुणा के बिना जो है वो समाज आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता, बच्चों को पढ़ाई नहीं मिल सकती है। तो ये एक बड़ा मैसेज जो है कल नोबेल पीस प्राइज लेते हुए कैलाश सत्यार्थी ने दिया है।
जी, बने रहिए हमारे साथ राकेश। We've got a reaction, in fact, coming in from Kailash Satyarthi's family members. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
जब नौकरी भी की थी, यहीं इंजीनियर बनने के बाद यहाँ पढ़ाया है, तो छोड़ के जब जा रहे थे तो मुझे बहुत अटपटा लगा। तो मैंने कहा ऐसा ना हो जाए कि इतनी भीड़ में तुम खो जाओ। अगर तुम अपना कुछ कर सकते हो तो जाना बेहतर है। तो उसने मुझसे वादा किया और आज निभा दिया।
मुझे जो बहुत अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि जो उन्होंने 30 वर्ष संघर्ष किया उसके बावजूद जो उनकी जो सफलता मिली है और हम सब की सफलता नोबेल प्राइज जो है पूरी दुनिया के जितने बच्चे हैं सबको मिला है और हम सब बहुत खुशनसीब है क्योंकि जो हम अपने काम से छुटा कर यहाँ लाए गए हैं।
खुशी दुगनी हो चुकी है, अभी तो खुशी दुगनी हो गई और यहाँ पर इतना खुशी का माहौल है कि बस डांस खुशी के बारे।
मैं ये समझती हूँ कि आज हमारे लिए जिस तरह अगर हम देखा जाए कि ईद का दिन है, खुशी का दिन है, वो एक दिन है और उसको इसी तरह हमें सेलिब्रेट भी करना चाहिए। और मलाला की जो कोशिश है, जो मलाला ने एक काम किया है, वो हमारी हर बच्ची के लिए जो है एक मशाल राह भी है, वो एक रोल मॉडल के तौर पे हमारे सामने आई है।
Rakesh, the smiles on the children's faces speak 1,000 words, don't they? I mean, you can just tell by looking at them how happy they are and how much it means to them, this Nobel Prize.
देखिए, पूरे देश के लिए गर्व की बात है, लेकिन उन बच्चों के लिए ज़्यादा गर्व की बात है जिसको कैलाश सत्यार्थी जी ने अपने हाथों से मुक्त कराया है। तो वो बच्चे वो समय को याद कर रहे थे। कल हमारे ऑफिस में बहुत ढेर सारे बच्चे जो मुक्त हुए थे, वो अपने आप चले आए कि आज क्या हो रहा है। तो ये बच्चों का जो एक्सप्रेशंस था, जो चेहरे पे जो भाव था, जो बात कह रहे थे कि एक समय था, मैं 1 साल पहले या 5 साल पहले मैं कभी पत्थर के खदानों में पत्थर तोड़ता था या ईंट भट्टों में ब्रिकलेंस में गरम ईंट को उठाता था या किसी गारमेंट की फैक्ट्री में सुइयां मेरे हाथों में चुभ जाती थी। वो समय याद करते हुए और आज के समय की तुलना कर रहे थे कि अगर कैलाश सत्यार्थी नहीं होते, बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन नहीं होता, तो आज मैं इंजीनियर बनने के लिए इंजीनियरिंग स्कूल में एडमिशन नहीं लिया होता। एक बच्चा जो है लॉ कर रहा है, बहुत ढेर सारे बच्चे दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ रहे हैं। तो ये अवसर देना, ये एक बहुत बड़ी चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली थॉट की जीत है। और हम लोग ये मानते हैं कि ये इसीलिए संभव हो पाया कि कैलाश सत्यार्थी भारत जैसे देश में रहते हैं जहाँ लोकतंत्र है और लोकतंत्र में अपनी बात रखने का, अपने विचार रखने की आज़ादी है और काम करने की आज़ादी है। और उस आज़ादी की वजह से 83,625 बच्चों को मुक्त कराया गया और भारत में एक चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली माहौल धीरे धीरे बन रहा है।
और भारत में चाइल्ड राइट्स की स्थिति कैसी है और गवर्नमेंट से क्या सहायता मिल रही है आपको?
देखिए, पहले तो 1980 के दशक में जब बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन की शुरुआत हुई तो 1986 में कानून बाल मजदूरी पे बना। इसके बाद जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट बच्चों के अधिकारों के लिए 2000 में बना। लेकिन अभी जो एक बड़ा परिवर्तन आ रहा है कि सरकार ने ये सोचा और सिविल सोसाइटी और बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन का एक बड़ा अभियान चला कि भाई कानून जो है वो उसमें बहुत फेरबदल की ज़रूरत है कि 14 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चे केवल हैजार्डस ऑक्यूपेशन और प्रोसेस में काम कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बाकी जगह पे काम कर सकते हैं। लेकिन 14 साल तक के लिए बच्चे के लिए शिक्षा मौलिक अधिकार है, तो हर बच्चे को स्कूल में होना चाहिए, फ्री एंड कंपलसरी क्वालिटी एजुकेशन मिलनी चाहिए। तो ये जो चीज़ है, ये धीरे धीरे सरकारों को, समाज को ये समझ में आया कि ये हमको परिवर्तन करना चाहिए। तो आज जो है जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट में भी बड़ा परिवर्तन करने की तैयारी चल रही है। संसद में बिल आने वाला है। चाइल्ड लेबर जो रेगुलेशन प्रोविजन एक्ट 1986 का है, उसमें एक बड़ा परिवर्तन करने की बात हो रही है। और वो बड़ा परिवर्तन ये है कि ये बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन की शुरू से मांगती है कि ऑल फॉर्म्स ऑफ चाइल्ड लेबर बंद किया जाए। जो बस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ चाइल्ड लेबर है उसको, जो ILO के का कन्वेंशन है, कन्वेंशन 182, उसको रेटिफाई सरकार करे। तो धीरे धीरे सरकार उस रास्ते पे जा रही है और हम ये विश्वास करते हैं कि हमारी जो सरकार है इस कानून में जो परिवर्तन है वो करेगी और सभी बच्चों को जो बाल मजदूरी कर रहे हैं, जो कहीं न कहीं किसी भी तरह के शोषण के शिकार हैं, उनको उस जगह से हटाया जाएगा और उनको एक पुनर्वास, रिहेबिलिटेशन के रास्ते पे लाया जाए।
जी जरूर। ऑल राइट, कंग्रेचुलेशंस वंस अगेन and all the very best for your future endeavors, and we hope that you continue to do this great work as well, and the entire country is with Bachpan Bachao Andolan. Well, it's time on that note for a very short break now, but coming up on the show, controversy over conversion likely to continue in Parliament today. That and much more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, the leader of the largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha will be in included in a panel to select the chairperson and members of the Lokpal. In a decision taken last night, the Union Cabinet gave the nod to the amendments in the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act, paving way for Mallikarjun Kharge to be a member of the Lokpal panel. As per the Lokpal Act, the selection committee consists of the Lok Sabha Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition in the lower house, the Chief Justice of India or a judge of the apex court nominated by him, and an eminent jurist who could be nominated by the President or any other member. In some other key decisions, the Cabinet approved the appointment of the 5 new additional Solicitors General in 5 high courts. It has also allowed public sector banks to raise up to 1.6 lakh crore rupees from markets by diluting government holding to 52% in phases so as to meet Basel III capital adequacy norms. Cabinet also cleared faster transfer of land for metro rail projects. Well, yesterday, the reported conversion of Muslim families to Hinduism in Agra had the opposition members on their feet in the Rajya Sabha. The opposition claimed that the Hindu outfits and cells of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh have lured Muslims to be converted. Now, the government replied that it was committed to secularism while rejecting charges against the RSS. Here's more.
BSP Chief Mayawati alleged that RSS affiliate Bajrang Dal is inducing people to convert. Seeking a response from the government, she warned that a similar exercise was being planned in Aligarh as well, where Christians are being targeted for conversion to Hinduism.
मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि यदि जबरन धर्म परिवर्तन का ये जो मुहिम छेड़ी है ये खास तौर से आरएसएस और उनके सहयोगी संगठनों ने और यदि इसको नहीं रोका तो पूरे देश के अंदर सांप्रदायिक तनाव पैदा हो जाएगा और देश के अंदर हाहाकार मच जाएगा। ये स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, ये सेंट्रल का भी है।
Other opposition parties also echoed similar sentiments. They also sought the Prime Minister's response on the issue.
निर्देश दे सरकार को, आप सरकार को निर्देश दे, सदन की भावना को देखते हुए, देश के संविधान को देखते हुए सरकार को निर्देश दिया जाए कि सरकार इस पे अपनी सफाई दे, सरकार आश्वस्त करे।
सरकार को यहाँ पे आकर जवाब देना होगा प्रधानमंत्री साहब को। ये निर्देश आप दे, चेयर में बैठ के आपको देना होगा कि प्रधानमंत्री आकर ये बात को स्पष्ट करे यहाँ पर।
The government, on the other hand, pointed out that law and order was a state subject and the state government had filed an FIR on it. However, it objected naming the RSS in the case.
कि किसी भी संगठन का नाम जो लिया गया है, विशेष तौर से आरएसएस का, उस नाम को हटाया जाए, स्पेंड किया जाए और जो भी कार्रवाई है वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को करना है। पहले मायावती जी वहाँ सरकार में थी, अभी मुलायम सिंह जी सरकार में है, उनको करना है। ये राज्य के कानून व्यवस्था से जुड़ा हुआ मुद्दा है, केंद्र से इसका कोई मतलब नहीं।
As the Treasury benches opposed the issue, the chair asked members to allow zero-hour mentions, while urging the opposition to give clear notice under relevant rules for discussion. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Going on now, protests are set to continue today in Parliament over controversy surrounding religious conversions in Uttar Pradesh. Despite opposition's criticism, the BJP MP Adityanath has declared that he will go ahead with a similar event planned in Aligarh on December 25th to convert Christians and Muslims. The party has denied allegations of forced conversions. The UP government has sent directives to district police chiefs to take action against such conversion drives. A criminal case for cheating and promoting enmity was filed yesterday in Uttar Pradesh over such conversions.
हम धर्मांतरण नहीं करते हैं, ये घर वापसी है। किसी कालखंड में आप चले जाइए पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश में, एक ही गोत्र से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं। इसका मतलब हिंदुओं से वे लोग बने हैं और लोग इस बात को स्वीकार करते हैं। वे लोग जब हिंदुओं के कार्यक्रम में आते हैं तो अपने गोत्र के कार्यक्रमों में लोग जाते हैं। उस प्रकार का कार्यक्रम में मुझे लगता है आरोप शरारतपूर्ण है।
Well, here's a quick look now at some other national stories in our segment Nationwide. Uber's general manager in India, Shailesh Saulani, was attacked outside the Transport Ministry's office in Mumbai yesterday. Saulani had been called at the ministry in connection with the rape case in New Delhi by an Uber cab driver. The attacker was identified as a member of a taxi union in Mumbai. Meanwhile, Uber's Asia Pacific head Eric Alexander was also questioned by the Delhi police. Following outrage over the incident, states like Maharashtra, Telangana and Chandigarh have also banned app-based taxi services. Aam Aadmi Party has released its third list of candidates for the Delhi Assembly elections. Prominent among the 10 candidates named in the third list is former Apple executive Adarsh Shastri. Shastri contested the Lok Sabha polls from Allahabad on an AAP ticket and will now be trying his luck in Dwarka. In its previous two lists, the party named 35 candidates, which include 18 sitting MLAs. At least 5 people were killed and 18 others injured when a minibus fell into a deep gorge near Katra in Jammu on Wednesday. The bus was on its way to Riyasi when it skidded off the road and rolled down into a deep gorge. The injured have been shifted to the Government Medical College Hospital in Jammu. Well, here's a look now at what's in store for today in our segment, The Day Ahead. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar will visit Jammu and Kashmir today, where he will be briefed by top army commanders on the overall security situation. He will visit the headquarters of the 15 Corps in Srinagar and pay homage to the army personnel martyred while combating militancy in the state. Army Chief General Dalbir Singh Suhag will be present to receive the Defence Minister. This would be Parrikar's first official visit to Jammu and Kashmir after he took over as the Defence Minister. Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will meet his state counterparts today in New Delhi. He will discuss the challenges in rolling out the goods and services tax, which the government is planning to roll out by April 1st, 2016. The GST will subsume indirect taxes like excise duty and service tax at the central level and VAT and local levies on the state's front. The Supreme Court will hear the centre's plea seeking permission to resume the selection of the CVC. On December 3rd, the centre had filed a plea in the top court seeking approval to restart the process of selecting a Chief Vigilance Commissioner and a Vigilance Commissioner, two crucial posts that have been lying vacant for months due to a PIL against the NDA government's election criteria. The CBI is likely to file its final report into the mysterious death of 2 teenage girls in Badaयूं early this year. The concluding report is likely to state that the girls had committed suicide, ruling out a rape angle. On November 28th, the investigating agency had revealed that charges of alleged rape and murder could not be established in the forensic and circumstantial evidence. Moving on to some international news now. Widespread condemnation and protests followed the release of the US Senate report on CIA's brutal interrogation methods. The agency is facing scathing criticism over alleged human rights violation. However, US President Barack Obama avoided taking sides on effectiveness of CIA methods.
I think it was important for us to release this so that we can count for it, so that people understand precisely why I banned these practices as one of the first acts I took when I came into office, and hopefully make sure that we don't make those mistakes again.
Despite the Senate's damning reports, the CIA claims its brutal interrogation method used on terror suspects a decade ago worked. And on that, at least US President Barack Obama is not taking sides. He declined to address the fundamental question raised by the report on CIA, misleading the White House and the public about its effectiveness.
The conclusion the president reached is a principle that people on both sides of this debate can agree to, which is that the moral authority of the United States of America is one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal to protect and advance U.S. interests around the globe. And it's the view of the president that the use of these techniques, regardless of whether or not they elicit national intelligence information, undermine our ability to use this very powerful tool.
Globally, there was widespread criticism in store for the agency. UN's human rights wing said the officers accused of torture should be brought to book. Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani called CIA's method as a brutal violation of human rights.
دیروز 11 بجه شب که راپور از اینترنت به دست آوردیم تا امروز هر کلمه‌اش خوندیم. راپور تکان دهنده است. تمام اصول قبول شده حقوق بشر، قانون ایالات متحده آمریکا، اخلاق قبول شده جهانی از طرف
torture is always wrong. Those of us who want to see a safer, more secure world, who want to see this extremism defeated, we won't succeed if we lose our moral authority.
It's absolutely crystal clear. Torture is prohibited absolutely in all circumstances at any time. It cannot be practiced in war, in peace, during emergencies, during internal instability, any circumstances whatsoever.
我们注意到了有关报道，中方一贯反对酷刑。我们认为美方应该对此进行反省和纠正有关的做法，切实的来遵守和履行相关国际公约的规定。
The long-delayed report took 5 years to produce and is based on more than 6 million internal CIA documents. The US military official said the final prisoners had left the Parwan detention center at the Bagram Air Base, bringing to an end the US operation of any prisons in the country after more than a decade of war. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, in more international news now, Hong Kong police are preparing to move in on student protesters who have blocked roads in the city centre for more than 2 months. Officials have warned protesters to leave so police can clear barricades, but some have vowed to remain. The number of protesters has fallen to a few hundred from tens of thousands who first gathered in September.
Hong Kong's protesters are bracing for the clearance of parts of the main occupation camp after a High Court ordered the main protest sites to be cleared. Despite police warning, leaders of the Hong Kong Federation of Students decided to stay put where they have been camping for the last 2 months. Thousands of police are expected to move in on Thursday after 2.5 months of road blockades and sporadic violent scuffles.
It has shown to the government that, as long as the government stick to the decision made by the central government in late August, the Hong Kong society, in general, they will adopt an approach of civil disobedience, resisting the government till the government consider to restructure the constitutional reform in the coming days.
星期四咧，我哋會係協助呢個執達主任去完成嗰個命令嘅執行，我哋會協助嘅，若有需要。如果係佢哋對警方作出一個要求，根據法庭嘅命令咧，我哋會。
Well, that's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.